This is the talk show that takes a no-holds-barred approach to politics, where truth and integrity are the standard and the Constitution honored. From Renaissance Studios, this is Champion News Talk Radio.
Good morning. Welcome to another great edition of Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net, your choice for the conservative voice. This is Carol Parisi. Our founder, Jack Roser, and myself today have two very special guests with us. We have Jim Edwards from the Republican Renaissance PAC and Bob Bednar, who is running for the Lake County Recorder of Deeds. And this is going to be a great show, so call your friends and neighbors and tell them to stick with us and check in here. Good morning, Jack. How are you?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good, and I think we really have two dynamite guys here besides our dynamite lady leader. And Bob, tell us a little bit about what you're doing up in Lake County.
Well, in Lake County, we have 4 countywide positions on the ballot on the Republican primary: state's attorney, clerk of the circuit court, coroner, and I'm running for recorder of deeds.
Uh-huh.
Now, Bob, you are running for Recorder of Deeds, but what are you doing that's uniquely different? You're running for an office. What are your plans for this office?
Okay. When I was
He is a strange breed of politician. I've listened to this man, and he wants this job so he can eliminate this job. Is that it in a nutshell?
That's in a nutshell, Jack. That's exactly right. This is an antiquated relic, similar to a lot of counties that years ago had a county auditor. They don't need it anymore. They bring in a CPA firm to do the books. Well, Recorder of Deeds, with technology improvements in document storage and retrieval, we have 86 counties in Illinois that don't have a Recorder of Deeds anymore.
Oof.
Well, now, Bob, that ultimately will save taxpayers money, correct?
That's right.
So by you running for this position to ultimately eliminate the position, you are working on behalf of the folks, is what I'm hearing.
I've always been an advocate for taxpayer. I think taxpayers need to get more value. There's a situation here with this office that we spend double to do certain functions. We have a county clerk that maintains certain record storage and retrieval,
by law,
maintains a counter, takes in fees and funds for certain functions. The recorder is actually doing the duplicative things, but instead of having one treasury function overseeing it, we have 2. We've got 2 budgets involved here. We've got 2 sets of staff maintaining a counter. And on top of the pie there, you've got a recorder making a 6-figure salary, all the perks and all of the expense and all the overhead and the fringes. We're looking at $250,000 to $500,000 savings per year.
Now, Bob, are you willing to give all that up? A salary and all the perks and benefits?
Yes, I think this is an unnecessary layer of government. You know, when people talk about getting the fat out of government...
Bob Bednar, you are a traitor to the political class. What are you thinking of?
I probably am.
Now, there's a practical matter to all this. Before we can get to nirvana, which is everything perfect, and we get this thing whittled down so we aren't wasting the taxpayers' money, you're stuck with going through the political process and once more getting elected, and you're trying to push back some people that would rather get this job and keep it forever?
Yeah. We right now in Lake County, we have an entrenched incumbent that's been there for 16 years. And I think when you get that comfortable and you get reelected and you're making really, really good money, as well as what the pension's going to be when,
on taxpayer dollars,
that job is retired, why would somebody step forward and say, you know what, I realize that there's 102 counties in the state and 86 of them don't have it, and about half of those have done away with it legally. Now, in fairness, some of these counties are very small. They never had it in the first place. You have to have 60,000 in population for the position to become created by state statute. So some counties never had it, but a whole bunch have gotten rid of it.
Yeah.
You know, can I ask you, you're speaking to something. It almost sounds like an elected official entitlement program. Once people get through the political system of getting elected, now they feel that it is their right to be earning these salaries and getting these pensions. It almost sounds like another entitlement program similar to welfare and things that we have on a national level, which is causing our crisis.
You know,
Are you just discovering this mess that we are in?
No.
I mean,
what I think is important to remember here is that, you know, taxpayers have to come first.
Absolutely.
And I think when someone's been in office for a really long time, that message gets forgotten about. Maybe it was there 16 years ago. I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
But I think there's a comfort level that people get in there for a long time.
You know what? You said taxpayers have to come first, and I this is kind of jumping down a little bunny hole, but you realize 47% of people are not paying income tax right now. So you know what? This government was set up for the people and by the people, but when you start getting people that are just taking from the government, don't you think we're at a precipice now of some type of change, and people need to understand that they need to vote good people in office?
My education was in accounting and finance, and I had a lot of economics along the way. I've spent 30 years in banking. We're going to come out of this economic doldrum at some point here.
you know, this is part of a much bigger malaise, is the bankruptcy of the United States and of the state of Illinois. Illinois here is close to home, and it's up to us to clean it up, and we don't have the excuse of a jerk being in the White House. Pardon me, but this Obama is the all-time winner at building up debt. But he's got a lot of Democrats. He came from Illinois, so he learned some damn bad habits about spending and the way politics is done.
The Chicago way.
And we are left with the most corrupt state in the Union and the most busted state in the Union. So you're not only a guy trying to clean up one office here and eliminate useless maneuvering, shuffling of paper, but the whole state of Illinois here needs big remedies because we are in deep trouble. We are the worst of the worst in finance and crookery. What a wonderful label we've got hung on ourselves. And the Democrats have been in charge of the, we have luckily a genius in as governor. And
you know, Jack, there's also, besides, you know, getting rid of redundant positions like that, there are a lot of political positions that shouldn't be political.
Like what?
Like city clerks and city treasurers and county treasurers. These are people that you know, a treasurer should be a CPA, but anyone can get elected to that, and they might not have a clue how to do it. So they have to hire a whole staff to run things for them because they got elected to the position, and it becomes, like Carol was talking about, almost like an entitlement. You know, then they can get their friends and relatives into the office and
We've got all the
the old
nepotism
Chicago way.
and you're talking political stuff, but let's run into the biggest political organization we have in this country is the school system. Try it for Illinois. It is the biggest lousy mess of bad management that anybody could think of. $16,000 per child, $400,000 a year for one classroom.
But it's for
of
the
20.
children.
It's
for
the
the
excuse for it.
children.
But that goes on and on. And just right up front in a school district, nowadays, it didn't used to be true, but nowadays you've got to have a special teaching certificate to be the finance guy for a school district.
Yeah,
so
that's
we've got
ridiculous.
860 different school districts in Illinois. And now you've got to have a fellow that's got a pedigree from the education establishment, which guarantees that it's somebody with a special interest to run along with the team that's blowing all that money. You've got miserable financial management of the billions of dollars that are going to educating our kids, miseducating them under a politicized union, the IEA, the Illinois Miseducation Association, and they have managed to corrupt the whole management system of education. And why you should have prevent getting the better managers out of those who had some experience in business or wherever you go to compete in managing things so that everything turns out all right. The whole school system has insulated them totally from people that have had any experience with the real world. So now you've got it institutionalized that you've got twits that are running the school system and a whole herd of them to help get these fantastic pensions. I mean, how do you like the person coming out of the school district and retiring with a pension of close to $200,000 a year?
It's
no wonder
obscene.
they don't give a damn about how much schools cost.
The incestuous relationship between the unions and some of the lawmakers is what the problem is. And you know what? We have an election coming in a couple days. We're going to talk more about that when we come back after the break. Stay with us.